Hello everyone, myself Jyoti Sinha, Assistant Professor of Commerce and Management. Today we are going to discuss on the topic of capacity planning. So first, we are discussing about meaning of capacity planning. Capacity is the capacity of productive unit to produce within a given time period. Normally, it is expressed in terms of output in units. For example, if a small machine is capable of producing 500 units per shift and the shop works one shift 5 days per week, the capacity of the shop can be calculated as 500 units per shift into 1 shift per day into 5 days per week equal to 2500 units per week. If the plant manager says that we are running at 90% of the capacity, it means the production is 2500 into 90%, that is 2250 units per week. Thus, capacity means not the actual output but the quantity that a firm is capable of producing. However, the capability also depends on the intensiveness of use of the productive unit. By increasing the intensiveness of use, the capacity of the productive unit can be increased without building new capacity. For example, in the above shop, if it is possible to work 3 shifts per day and 7 days in a week, the capacity would be 500 into 3 into 7, that is 10,500 units per week. The maximum capacity cannot be increased without modifying or expanding the facilities. When there are many sub processes in making a product, the capacity of the productive unit is governed by the capacity of the weakest link, that is, the capacity of the sub process having the minimum capacity. The reason is that the extra output of the other processes would be of no use until the capacity of that sub process is improved. If we want to upgrade the capacity, we can do so by balancing equipment to create a better balance amongst the sub processes. The concept of capacity is thus invariably connected with the weakest link in the chain. This means that even when capacity is full utilized in terms of the definition of capacity, there may be individual processes that may remain underutilized in many cases. Processes are partially manual and partially mechanical. Technology is many cases is individual. In some situation, especially processing industries, the capacity is further qualified by mentioning how it was established. Thus, there can be a licensed capacity of the plant denoting the capacity that has been licensed by the concerned governmental authorities. There can similarly be an installed capacity denoting the capacity that has been provided for a while the plant was installed. Finally, the rated capacity may be quite different from the other capacities and based on the highest production rate established by actual trials. Let's move the importance of capacity planning. There are three major importance of capacity planning. The first is to meet future demands. That means capacity decision is related with the ability of the organization to meet future demand for the product or services. Next is there is a direct relationship between capacity and operating cost. If capacity is matched with the demand requirement, operating cost would be minimized. For that, attempt is necessary to balance the cost of over and under capacity. The third is capacity decision involve long-term commitment of resources. It is a fact that once implemented, it may be difficult or impossible to modify those decisions without incurring major cost. So we are moving ahead capacity planning. So capacity can be measured in one of the two ways. One measure of capacity is a rate of output per unit of time. Tons per month and parts per unit are some examples. If a plant produces only one type of product, capacity is usually easy to define. For example, in a sugar factory, a logical measure of capacity is tons of sugar per month or per week or per day. The capacity of a thermal power plant is expressed in megawatts of power. That of a television unit in thousands of television sets per month, and that of a steel mill in a million tons of steel in a year. However, when a production unit produces multiple output with some output sharing common facilities and some other output using special facilities, measurement of capacity become really difficult. An extreme example is a job shop which produces product as per customer specifications. In such a case, the capacity can be measured in terms of the number of output units per unit of time. For such organizations, capacity is usually expressed in terms of available units of the limiting resources. For example, the capacity of a job shop can be measured in units of labor's hours available per month. The capacity of a hospital can be similarly measured in bed days per month and bed days per month that of a consultancy organization consultation days per year. So there are some output measures about capacity planning और जैसे oil refinery barrel of oil per day, jet engine plant machine hours month, labor's hours per month, electric company megawatt of electricity per hour, paper producer tons of paper week. There are some input measures of capacity planning, that is airline number of seats oblique flight, hotel numbers of rooms, number of beds, grocery store number of checkout lines, warehouse cubic feet of space, tennis club number of courts, departmental store number of square feet. So let's we proceed process of capacity planning. So they in capacity is to be planned keeping in mind our future growth and expansion plans, market trends, sales forecasting, multiple scenario analysis, and our policy towards risk taking. In brief, the process for capacity planning involves the following 8 steps. That is, assess company situation and environment to predict future demands, including the possible impact of technology, competition, and other events. Determine the available capacity. Translate predictions into physical requirements. Fourth step is develop alternate capacity plans for matching required and available capacity. Fifth is analyze the economic effects of alternate capacity plans. Sixth is analyze the risk and other strategic consequences of alternate plans. Seventh is recommend a course of action. Eighth is implement of the course of action. So we are discussing about the process of capacity planning. Let's हम कुछ यहाँ पे कुछ पॉइंट्स को एलोबरेट करेंगे, जैसे जनरेशन ऑफ कैपेसिटी प्लान्स. इफ वंस द कैपेसिटी रिक्वायरमेंट हैव बीन वर्कड आउट, ऑल्टरनेटिव प्लान्स कैन बी जनरेटेड. If the capacity available does not match the capacity required in any year, the capacity plans also mentions whether alternative source of capacity will be used or whether the plan is prepared with the possibility of lost sales. The other major point of capacity planning process is size of capacity increment. When there is a growth in predicted demand of a product, one important question is how much of capacity has to be added and when, rather than whether capacity has to be added. Two strategies are for capacity addition could be easily formulated. The first one is add capacity in small increment but often, and second is add large capacity increment but less often. Other major point is alternate sources of capacity. The capacity of any facility also depends on the intensiveness of use. Therefore, a manager has access to a higher capacity without really building additional capacity by increasing the intensiveness of use. This includes alternative like overtime, holiday work, additional shift working, etc. There is a further possibility of subcontracting a part of all the transformation processing to outsiders and have access to their capacities as well. However, for specialized and sophisticated processing, subcontracting may not be feasible, and similarly for process industries working round the clock, it may not be possible to increase the intensiveness of use. The other major point is cost volume relationship. For an example, या फिर बोल सकते for a given capacity, unit cost of production decreases with higher volume as the fixed cost gets spread over the larger volume. The next is economics of scale. A higher capacity plant offers some economic of scale. it is worthwhile going in for greater automation only in a high capacity plant. This, coupled with more sophisticated technology, enables a larger capacity plant to produce a lower variable cost per unit, although the fixed cost of production is much higher. The combined effect of this is that a lower unit cost can be achieved in a larger capacity plant. And last is lost sales. An alternative to meeting the capacity requirement through additional capacity or alternate sources is to be observed some lost sales. However, lost sales always amount to losing some market share. This is very risky alternative, especially in the face of competition while generating capacity plans, because market share losses could be permanent. सो यहाँ पे हम लोगों का ये लेक्चर 1 कंप्लीट होता है कैपेसिटी प्लानिंग का. हम पार्ट 2 में कैपेसिटी प्लानिंग के बारे में और ज़्यादा पढ़ेंगे. इनके इवैल्यूएशंस क्या होते हैं, इनके एस्टिमेटिंग फ्यूचर कैपेसिटी नीड्स के बारे में पढ़ेंगे, इनके फैक्टर्स के बारे में पढ़ेंगे, इनकी मॉडलिंग के बारे में पढ़ेंगे, इनका जो डिसीजन ट्री एनालिसिस कैसे इम्प्लीमेंट होता है कैपेसिटी एक्सपेंशन के बारे में, और उसके कुछ एग्जाम्पल्स देखेंगे. सो अभी के लिए थैंक यू सो मच फॉर हियरिंग मी.